we talk about the cartels, the drug cartels, they sell a lot of pot, and then we decriminalize pot, and then they don't sell as much pot. They move on to fentanyl or human trafficking, or they just keep sort of evolving into whatever's next. And so you hear they go, well, these guys, they were in there with the construction companies, and they're in there with the disposal companies, and they ran numbers, and I don't know, prostitution. But how did it play out? Like, where was the, it's like me. How do I get paid? Well, I get paid to do a podcast. But I make some money doing live shows. All right, but I sell a couple of books. But I don't make as much selling the books as I do with there's a pyramid of it. How did it work out? Yeah, I make less off of T-shirts and more off of doing stand-up and then more off of podcasting. But how did it kind of work out with the mob when you were there at the beginning and then versus 25 years later?
Yeah, well, when I went in, as an associate, I wasn't that smart. The whole making of what went on, but through time I completely understood it. And you're right, everything elevates. That years and years ago when there was prohibition, it's before my time, but Al Capone was thrown out of New York. He went to Chicago, and he was in wars, and he was a tough bastard. He's doing crazy shit. But one thing he did do is he got unions, put them together, made them stronger, and was using unions against contractors and people like that, making a ton of money. Mm-hmm. And I was told in New York, they said, what is he doing? How is he doing that? And then everybody started understanding how to use the unions, control them, and make a ton of money. And it was a gold mine. There's a lot of things that he actually showed. He was doing things, prohibition, it was making booze and selling it. The government put a prohibition on it. You couldn't drink. And we understood, when I say it's not really me, but the mob itself understood people's desires to do something. They wanted to drink. They wanted to relax. They wanted to party. Mm-hmm. So when the government stopped it, it was an easy thing to do. How do we get booze? We can make it. And we could sell it underground. And it opened up underground clubs and parties, and it was selling like it was better than drugs, better than anything. I mean, and people enjoyed it, and they weren't against it. So I think that's what happened with the Mafia. The same thing when you go to Vegas. I forgot exactly who it was, went to Vegas, and he was on the lam. And while he was on the lam, he went to a small town in Vegas. And when he went in, he was gassing
up. You're talking about Bugsy Siegel?
Well, not him, but in that era, in that time. And he went in and got gas and was fixing his car, and he sees them all playing cards. Mm-hmm. And he sees a police car. Mm-hmm. So he tells them, he says, listen, guys, I don't really care what you're doing, but you're playing cards, you got money on the table, you're gambling. There's a police car coming. Mm-hmm. And they said, listen, over here, it's not against the law to gamble. And he was the first guy who made a call. Bugsy Siegel, everybody started, what? Yeah, and they put things together to build hotels, and they gave them everything. Again, they understand what people want. When you went to their casinos, they were comping you with everything. The rooms, broads, drinking, eating, no matter what you wanted. They treated you like a king. People loved that.
Right.
And those casinos were getting off like crazy. And where did they make the money? They didn't care about the food or the booze or the broads. They under gambling. Mm-hmm. And that became a gold mine. And then every family turned around and was looking at it. What? What are they doing? How are they doing it? It's legal there. So if you had gambling in New York or Chicago or wherever it was, you would get arrested for that.
Right.
And here, it was legit.
Right.
Same thing when they went to, that's Bugsy Siegel, and then went to Cuba. Same thing. It was legal.
Yeah.
Cuba was paradise for people. They went, rich people, they went there. It was all the same thing, gambling, broads, everything you can do, and it was legal.
Right.
Until Castro came in and stopped all of that stuff. And he actually screwed his own people because the country became nothing. I mean, it went broke.
You know, I know. And now maybe New York will go broke.
Exactly.
They always do a thing where they're like, we're not going to do exactly what Castro did or exactly what Hugo Chavez did to ruin their country, but we're going to do a kind of version of it that's going to be better.
Right.
And it's like, why don't you do no version of it? Because it seems to ruin places.
Right.
And they always have this weird thing where it's like, no, I have a new way of doing this thing that never works. And they all had a new way of doing the thing that never worked either. Right. And it never worked because there's a fundamental flaw to it. And I don't get, I'm always vexed. Do they hate this country or do they really think whatever this is going to work this time?
I think some of them hate the country, to be honest with you, because it's so ridiculous. But the liberal elites up on top, they want to keep everybody down. They're interested in money and power, period. Everybody else, and it's not a race thing, black, white, Spanish, Jewish, Irish, German, I don't care who you are, they want to break you. They want you to depend on them, their corporations, the government, and they want it to be broke. They want to break it and build it how they want it.
Yeah. I see. What I don't get when I talk to people about it is, have you been to the DMV lately? Have you seen what the government does? I'm in Malibu. There's no permits issued. It's been 6 months. Nobody's rebuilding anything. The government, all they do is fuck things up. Why would you want to rely on the government for anything? And I've always just said, I think people think I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. I said, what if we just put the government in charge of tacos? No more privateer tacos, no more independent, no more Chipotle, no more taco stands, no more Del Taco, nothing. The government is now in charge of tacos. Could you imagine how bad that taco would be and how expensive it would be? And everyone goes, yes, that would be a shit taco and it would be way too expensive. And I go, exactly. Okay, now just do my taco math and spread it out to everything. Because once they have a monopoly on it, that's it. And they somehow think it's a weird relationship. Because my mom was one of these people, and they simultaneously rely on the government, welfare, food stamps, handouts, Section 8 housing, everything. They rely on the government and they detest the government at the same time. They hate the government and they rely on the government. It's like some shitty teenage girl who hates her stepdad, but he's leasing her a BMW, but she still hates the guy, but she wants the BMW.